Hello, and welcome to Equality Institute's presentation, 5 Best Practices for LGBTQ Inclusive Sales, Marketing, and Customer Service. This is about a 10-minute training or so, and it's going to give you really great tips to be more LGBTQ inclusive in the work that you do. So the thing is this, if your business is in, if you, Hello, and welcome to the Equality Institute's presentation, 5 Best Practices for LGBTQ Inclusive Sales, Marketing, and Customer Service. This presentation is going to take about 10 minutes long. It's a mini training, and I'm going to make it really simple. 5 quick tips that are going to help you grow your business by being more LGBTQ inclusive. Now, it doesn't matter whether you have maybe a real estate firm, or maybe you are a mortgage broker, or maybe you have a small retail shop, or you provide coaching services, or maybe you are a counselor. Whatever your business is, if you want to be more LGBTQ inclusive, if you want to serve more LGBTQ clients and customers, this mini training is for you. My name is Bernadette Smith, and that's me right there. I've been out as gay for about 25 years. And not only that, but for about 15 years, I've had a business that specializes in selling to LGBTQ customers and clients. In fact, the business that I had specialized in planning LGBTQ weddings. So I've worked personally with hundreds of couples from literally every state and around the world. And one thing I can tell you is that no couple or no LGBT person is the same. There are obviously lots of individual personalities and styles and needs, and I think you expect that. But the tips I'm going to share with you today are universal. They're really going to help you market to and provide awesome customer service to the diversity of the LGBTQ community, because there are definitely some common threads. There are definitely some common themes that you're going to encounter over and over again. Now, the goal of this presentation is truly to create the win-win. I would love to see your business grow. I would love to see you be more successful, have more time to spend with your family, have more time for travel because you have this extra income. And at the same time, I would love for LGBTQ folks to feel more safe. I would love them to feel like they can trust your business. So it's a win for them and it's a win for you. And I think that's just the best way to do business. So let me just explain a little bit of the context for this video. In the United States, in about 28 states, someone can be fired for being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. And they can actually be denied housing. They could be denied access to a restaurant or a store. A business owner can say to them, sorry, we don't serve gay people here. And in about 28 states, that LGBT person has no recourse. It's totally legal for that to happen. So this means that a lot of LGBTQ folks feel a little bit nervous. They don't know who they can trust, and they're not sure whether they can trust you. So this little training here is going to help you establish yourself as a trusted resource for LGBTQ folks, and as a result, grow your business. So tip number 1, make it obvious. Make it obvious that you welcome everyone. You can see this little sticker here at the bottom. It says, this business is open to all. This is a sticker that is available for businesses that have some sort of shop, whether it's a retail store or a restaurant. This decal can go in your window. And it's a great way to illustrate that you do welcome everyone, that you don't discriminate. And you can get your own sticker at opentoall.com. If you have a business that's more online based, or if you do more online marketing, create a little anti-discrimination statement. Say, we do not discriminate on the basis of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity. And you can name other protected classes as well, but make it really clear that your business is welcoming everyone through its doors. Obviously, maybe not everyone's a perfect fit for you as a client, but it's a great way to establish yourself as a trusted resource. So LGBTQ folks are less nervous. So they don't have to worry about whether they're going to need to come out to you, or how they're going to feel safe working with you. Tip number 2, never make assumptions. And one of the most common assumptions that a lot of people make is that people are straight. So let's just say, for example, that you hear from a man who's potentially interested in buying a house and he reaches out to you to consider you as his realtor. Well, you might find out that this man has a wedding ring on. You might see his ring, but you might make the assumption that he's married to a woman. So you might say something like, "So what does your wife do?" Or "Is your wife involved in this process?" But maybe he's married to another man. So you don't want to make assumptions about the gender of the person that you're talking to. You don't want to make assumptions about the sexuality of the person that you're talking to either. And with more and more people identifying as gender fluid or transgender, you really can't assume someone's gender anymore. Tip number 3, educate yourself, especially around the fluidity of gender. There are an increasing number of people who are identifying as transgender or who are non binary or gender diverse. In fact, of the Gen Z centennials, about 31% identify as somewhere in the LGBTQ plus spectrum. And beyond that, lots of them are identifying as gender fluid or transgender. They don't want you to assume their gender. But it actually is okay to ask. You wouldn't necessarily say, "Hey, what's your gender?" But you can say, "Hey, my pronouns are he and him. What are your pronouns?" Now, I know that may sound like an awkward question, but for younger folks, it's something that they're really comfortable with. And it's a great way to educate yourself or to show how enlightened and inclusive you actually are, especially among younger people within the LGBTQ community. Tip number 4, vet your resource list. Chances are, no matter what kind of business you're in, you might be passing a lot of referrals. I'm just going to keep using a realtor as an example. Let's just say you are a realtor and you do have trusted resources. For example, you refer your clients to home inspectors or plumbers, electricians, general contractors, mortgage brokers, etc. Your clients are trusting you, but do you know if your preferred vendors and your preferred partners are LGBTQ inclusive as well? Have those conversations. Ask the home inspectors that you know, ask the electricians that you know, "Hey, do you work with same sex couples or LGBTQ individuals?" Chances are they'll probably say yes. And it might be an awkward conversation, but better awkward for you to have it than your client to have it. So come out so your clients don't have to. And by the way, this will give you a little bit of a taste what it feels like to come out, because LGBTQ people have to come out over and over and over again. And sometimes it goes great and sometimes it doesn't, and it ends up being really awkward. So have that conversation. Again, this is allowing you to prove yourself that you are LGBTQ inclusive and really go that extra mile to be an advocate for your clients. Tip number 5, update your forms. So if you collect any sort of registration information on forms, if you have any sort of contact form that people are filling out, and you need to collect names, pronouns, or sorry, name or gender, you can actually be more inclusive by having a third gender box for gender, so male, female, and other. You can have a section that says name and a preferred name. So someone can choose that as well. You can have gender neutral honorifics instead of just Mr. and Miss and Ms. You can also have the honorific mix, the title mix. You can allow people to share their pronouns on forms. Now, this might seem a little bit unfamiliar to you, but it's actually happening all over the world. Many companies now, including YWCAs and companies like Spotify and Tinder, are allowing people to have third gender options. They're asking for pronoun identification. We're seeing that about 18 states now are allowing someone to have a third gender on their state ID. So there's lots of options throughout corporations and organizations to be inclusive of the diversity of gender. So when you update your forms as well, it's showing that you get it and that you understand that there is a diversity of gender. That's a great best practice. Now, these practices are really going to help you be more universally inclusive. I haven't even dug into things like what are the LGBT and Q? What does the Q even mean? So our full certification course will really dig into all of those letters, what they mean, talking more about the spectrum of gender and sexuality. It talks a little bit about the laws and policies which affect the LGBTQ community and how that affects how they buy. Our full course has conversation starters and tips on how to be an ally for the LGBTQ community. And of course, it digs much more into best practices in marketing. It covers all of that information, but still only takes about 45 minutes. It's a series of short videos. It really allows you to understand this information, but in a way that's digestible, it's easy, and it's fast. So consider taking the LGBT Inclusive Business course. I think you'll really find it a huge value. I know these 5 tips today, I cover them quickly, but I think that they will help you as well. But feel free to reach out to me about digging into this full course. The list price for this course is $249, but special offer for viewers of this training is $199. At the end of the course, you can receive an LGBT inclusive badge for your website, for your email signature, for your social media. You can use that to illustrate to LGBTQ folks how inclusive you are. You can use that to illustrate that you took the time to educate yourself because you want to be more inclusive. You want to be more sensitive. You want to provide awesome customer service. So you can register for the course through the email I'm going to send you. You can take a look. I think you're really going to get great value from it. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Bernadette Smith. I'm at theequalityinstitute.com, and I would love to help you create this win-win.